Back in the time, I was easily consumed by my negative emotions. Every time I feel angry, shameful, nervous, I always link this emotion to my personal value and start to attack myself. Because I once thought that showing emotion is an immature behavior as a man, so I have to pretend to be stoic and press my emotion to hide it. But the more I deny it and try to press it, the harder each time the wave of emotion hits me until one day I couldn't take it anymore, so I had to run away from the crowd and gasp on my own to let myself calm. You see, one day I was doing a presentation in English class. I felt so nervous that my limbs became numb and my mouth was frozen. I couldn't accept my current condition and force myself to act relaxing and comfortable. You can imagine how tortured and splitted it was for me to do that every single day, and this certain pressing behavior caused me to overconsume myself, and I was worn out every single day. So the rest of my time I just wanted to play video games, eating junk foods, and bust my nuts when I got home. So I would say 90% of my energy that should be used for doing the constructive thinking was wasted by my inner attack to myself because I simply don't know the way of how to work with my emotions. So in order to achieve self-discipline, we must preserve our energy and not let our emotion consume them all. 90% of our emotions are related to self-attack because we respond to our surroundings, and emotion is fully subjective. If you see a microwave or a computer, you wouldn't link them with emotions, right? If a microwave is running and spinning, you wouldn't think that it is trying to mock you because it is exactly how it was designed to work. Same thing as humans. Not everyone in the world is an angel. People are designed to be selfish, and there are people who have problems in their life and they projectile their problems onto their surroundings. Some people dump their shit on you and make you angry for weeks, but he didn't even realize it. Was it his fault? Well, of course. But can we change how we respond to it and prevent them from consuming our energy? Of course. That is why it's so important to realize how emotion works and how to handle it. The first and the most important thing we need to realize is that our emotions are normal. We produce emotion every day, just like a factory that produces smoke as it's running. Emotion itself is not powerful enough to cause our internal friction and waste our energy, but how we respond to it does. Energy is only wasted by creating frictions. That means while we're denying our emotions or try to do something with that emotion, we're starting to consume ourselves. So the simplest way to prevent it is to just simply let it flow. Okay, my coworker bullied me, my teacher bullied me, my classmates bullied me. Can I fight back? Of course. Can I be angry? Of course. Then let myself be angry. You see, now you have the realization of a higher dimension while simply letting your emotion flow. Now you're observing your emotion from a higher perspective, and once this realization is formed, you now have the freedom of stopping it where you bring out. It is that realization part that makes it so important that you can stop this emotion taking over you and replace your true self. So every single time when our emotion comes, we need to take a step back and just make a way to let it flow. Only if we do that, we can be able to observe it and prevent it from interfering with our brain and our true self. So if you feel like you're angry, just tell yourself, I have the right to be angry, and I am angry right now. Let me be angry for half an hour. Let me just simply sit here and be fucking angry. I embarrassed myself in front of the public, okay? Let me just sit here and be embarrassed. I was rejected by a hot girl when I talked to her, and I felt shameful. Let me just be here and be shameful. I felt nervous around my surroundings because I think they're gonna hurt me. Let me just be here and be nervous. Just simply let it burn. Okay? Do not reject your emotion when it comes, and always make a way for it to flow through your mind. When you stop letting your emotion be you, you are no longer your emotion, because you are standing at a higher dimension beyond your brain, which is the dimension of your true self. Self-discipline cannot be achieved without a 100% efficient use of your personal energy. That is why it's so important to cut the distraction from both internal and external environment. Emotion consumption is probably the biggest thing that warms our brain out when we don't know how to handle it. Especially in nowadays society where social media is creating so much anxieties. If you can practice this way of just letting it flow, you will soon realize now you have the power of focusing on one thing and start to build your actual value again.
Man, listen, you see, really, to me, ultimately, martial art means honestly expressing yourself. Now, it is very difficult to do. I mean, it is easy for me to put on a show and be cocky and be flooded with a cocky feeling and then feel like pretty cool and all that. Or I can make all kinds of phony things, you see what I mean? Blinded by it. Or I can show you some really fancy movement. But to express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself, and to express myself honestly, now that, my friend, is very hard to do. And you have to train. You have to keep your reflexes so that when you want it, it's there.